In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Mungyo Gallery Artist Soft Oil Pastels. Now, they say that these are professional oil pastels, but I haven't found anywhere yet with any light fast readings or anything like that. So if I find that information, I will go ahead and link it down below. But this is what the packaging looks like, and I will have links to everything down below. And it comes with this cover. You can take that off. And then it comes with a nice box, and it's just plain on the back. And you take the cover off, and then it's got a nice little booklet here. And it also has this little insert that just helps protect your pastels in shipping so that they don't get cracked or broken. And I did order this off Amazon, and none of mine came cracked or broken. And I'm just going to go through this booklet real quick. It's got some information here on the different type of sets available. So these go up to 120 colors. So that's a lot of colors. That's pretty cool. Now, from what I've seen though, I can't find these open stock. So that's sort of one thing that I'm looking for. And usually you find that more with professional supplies. So I know the Sennelier oil pastels, they come open stock. So if you run out of just one color, let's say you use this color for almost every painting and you run out of that one, you're going to have to go ahead and buy one of the smaller sets that come with this color in it. Versus if they're available open stock, you can just go ahead and get that one color that you need. So for me, that's one of the first indicators of if this is going to be a medium or a product that I'm going to use a lot. Now, if these perform amazingly well, and because they're sort of budget friendly, maybe it would be worth spending the money on that, but that's just sort of one of the first things I consider. Now, looking at the colors on the swatch card here, they have some really nice vibrant colors, so that's definitely plus. And I like that they come with the color names as well. But I will go ahead and swatch all of the colors out for you, and I'll have the real-time swatching on my Patreon, but I'll go ahead and speed that up on YouTube here. Now, this is the 48 set. Now, if we just take one of these out, I do like that it comes with this casing on it. So this is just paper rolled around it. It has the name on it, turquoise blue, and it has the number as well, 223. So you can always refer back to this paper. So you may not even need to swatch them out, but I want to see what they look like swatched out. Okay, so to do the swatches for the Mungyo pastels, I'm going to use the Paul Rubens paper. Now, this paper is really smooth, and I didn't like this with the Paul Rubens pastels because I found they didn't really grip to it that well. But the Mungyo pastels are a little bit creamier, so I just want to see how it holds up on this paper. Okay, so this is what all the swatches look like once I've put them down and blended them out. And I just took my finger to blend them out, and I did about, 4 or 5 swipes each. And then I just had a baby wipe off to the side, wiped my fingers off, and then a Kleenex to dry them again really well. But I just want to compare some of the swatches to here. So they're pretty darn close, actually, when you look at it. Like this is 209. This was the 209 here. So, I mean, they're pretty close. So I don't know if you would have to go ahead and swatch them all out, but it was nice to see how they felt on this paper. Now, this is the Paul Rubens smooth paper that came with it, and I did not like it with the Paul Rubens at all. But the Mungyos, they were just so creamy. They laid down so nicely on top of this. Now, I did go ahead and swatch the Paul Rubens white and the Paul Rubens black. These two were, one of the creamier ones, and I really like how creamy the whites are. They do go down really nicely. but they're a little bit harder to blend out because they leave quite a layer on because they're so thick when they lay down that it's kind of like, it's almost like you gotta like scrape a little bit off and blend it out, but they did all right. So I figure what I'm gonna do now is just grab a few pastels and just try blending them here in real time. But I figure maybe we'll do like a couple of blends. So maybe I'll pick a yellow, an orange, and a red, and we'll just see how these blend out. And I think I'm gonna do 3 because I'll do one blending like this, I'll do one with the white, and I'll do one with, these are the just clear oil pastel blenders. And so I want to try those and see how they work as well. So this is the white, and you know what? Maybe I'll do a half. So this is the Paul Rubens on this side. And I'm doing like sort of a circle oval type blend just to really try to get the colors to move together and blend. And that did okay, but it definitely left like a film on top. That's the Paul Rubens white. This is the Gallery white. So I'm just going to do the same thing. And I'm trying to push about the same hardness and doing the little oils, and I'm already seeing a huge difference there between the two. I'm going to drag this color down a little bit. And then, my gosh, that one cleaned off so much easier as well. And let's just try on the Kleenex just to see. Yeah, it doesn't rip the Kleenex. That cleans off so nicely. Probably would be better on paper towel, but I just grabbed a piece of Kleenex. But I don't know if you guys can see the difference between that. So the Paul Rubens one left a clear white film on top, whereas the Mungyo white really like blended in with the pastels themselves. Now, I don't know if that's because the pastels themselves are creamier, so maybe they blended together nicely. But the white Paul Rubens are quite creamy as well. So maybe they're a little bit more creamy than this white, and that's why it left a film on top. But that's kind of interesting. I'm going to grab a clear one here. And I got these on YouTube, I got these on Amazon as well. So I'll go ahead and make sure I link everything down below for you guys. But I'm just going to do the whole thing because I only have one brand of the clear ones. And I'm trying to do about the same firmness and the same like way that I did the other one. And then I'm going to wipe that and see how that cleans off. That cleaned off pretty good. Now this is a little bit more waxier, but I like that it didn't really change the colors a whole lot. But I'm going to see if maybe I did a smaller area here and sort of drag them out more, if that makes a difference in the blend versus trying to blend such a big area. And no, I find if I drag them out a little bit more, they get a little bit patchier. But this did a pretty good job. And then I'm just going to do my finger, and I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and pull them down. So I'm sort of doing the same motion, and these are blending out so smooth and so nicely. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that nice gradient, but that, I definitely hands down like doing it that way better. Now, let me know down below if there's other ways that you blend your pastels out with. So let's grab a couple more colors here. Now, I definitely find that this way is the easiest way, but you know what? I kind of want to see how they would blend just using the pastels themselves. So I think I'm going to grab those same blue again, and I'm going to lay them down, and I'm just going to try to like overlap them a little bit more and see how they blend that way. So I'm really trying to put like thinner layers down because I'm not sure once like a lot of the color is built up how nicely they're going to blend out. Ooh. Ooh, that is blending really nicely. Yeah. So I'm almost like just lightly passing it over it, and I've got to remember which color to grab there. Okay, that did a really nice job, but because I was putting a little bit more pastel down, I noticed there is a little more like dust on top of it or pastel particles that came off, but that did a really nice blend as well. So maybe that's the way to go with these, is just to blend them out with themselves. The Paul Rubens, when I tried to do this, did a horrible mess with them, but I kind of like that. So I would say either the finger or this way is really nice. Okay, so I've been testing on the Paul Rubens paper, but I want to go ahead and do the artwork on the Canson Mi-Teintes. Now, this is the side that has a little bit more texture. There's like a really smooth side and a slightly more textured side. So I'm going to use this side, and I just want to see how these ones go down on this paper because I feel like it might have a little bit more grip than the Paul Rubens. And so this is what I'm going to do the artwork on. So we are just going to go ahead and jump into that right now. I went ahead and did these cherries all in real time for my Patreons. I'll go ahead and leave the link down in the description if you're curious about that. But my goodness, did these oil pastels perform so nicely. Now, after trying the Paul Rubens oil pastels, I was a bit disappointed and didn't think oil pastels would ever be for me, but after a few people had suggested the Mungyo oil pastels, and I'm very thankful they did, I decided to go ahead and try them out, and my goodness, they are so creamy, they blend so nicely. So even on the paper that I really struggled to get the Paul Rubens to blend on, these just went down so smooth, so nicely. They blended with just a few strokes of my finger on that smooth paper, but I think this is where they really shine. So I'm using the Canson Mi-Teintes paper here, and they grip this paper superbly. Like, they just lay down on this paper so nicely. As you can see, I'm really building up some color on them. Now, these aren't super realistic cherries. I just wanted to have some fun here and throw some color down, but I'm able to layer these oil pastels so nicely. And even with the background you're going to see later, I just went in really messy and laid some oil pastels down, and they went on and gripped the paper just so nicely. Like, I'm just really impressed with them. Even the Mungyo white pastel did a really great job. I thought I was going to have to grab the Paul Rubens white to go on top for my brightest highlights, but the white from the Mungyo set did an amazing job. And it was not an overpowering white, so I was even able to use it and glaze over the cherry in some areas to get sort of that glassy look that the cherry had. And that's what I did. I just took that white and kind of just lightly glazed over some of the areas, and that worked really well, whereas the Paul Rubens white was a little too overpowering, and it would just sort of lay down over top of any of the colors, as you saw in the blending section of this video. Now, I really think the type of paper that I used here is the key to why I really enjoyed these oil pastels. I'm interested to maybe try the Paul Rubens on the Canson Mi-Teintes paper here, so let me know down below in the comments if you guys guys would want to see that video, because I feel like I still have them. I should put the review out on them. I just don't like to talk negatively about a product, but at the same time, I feel like you guys need to know the pros and the cons, and that means even the products that don't work out so good. Now, one thing I do want to mention about these oil pastels is even though they're so creamy, they're still so easy to clean. So all I did was just wipe the tips of them off onto a piece of paper that I had on the side, and that would just wipe off all the color off, and I could even drag it over onto a piece of paper towel, and it wouldn't rip the paper towel. It was soft, but it was not soft enough that I couldn't clean the tips of the oil pastels without like smushing, you know, a bunch of the pastel off. So that was another really great aspect of these as well. Now, one thing that I don't like about oil pastels is they never really set. So they're always a little bit tacky, and so you have to be really careful how you store them. And of course, I wouldn't be able to scan this artwork while it's still tacky. So I went ahead and picked up the Sennelier Oil Pastel Fixative. And I'm going to go ahead and test that out on this artwork in a separate video. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see that video. But I'm going to go ahead and try that out and just see how well it actually works. Okay, so my final thoughts for this. I really enjoyed using these pastels, these oil pastels, and I hope that showed in the demonstration, because I finished the cherries and then I thought, you know, I was sad to be done, so I had to add more. And I kind of really like this splotchy looking background. I'll try to like pick it up so you guys can see it a little bit better. But of course, I'll probably have a screenshot of it somewhere in the thumbnail. But these were the swatches of all the pastels again. So they worked really well on this smooth paper, and I really liked that I was able to layer them up and really blend them nicely on this. So this is the Canson Mi-Teintes, the more textured side of the paper. And I kind of like this background here where I left some of the texture of the paper showing through. But as you can see, you can totally smooth them out so nothing shows through. Where I went over the stems here with the background colors a little bit, I went right back over top with those light areas. And actually I could add just a little bit more here just to get the shape of that back a little bit better. But they layer over top of each other so well. I really had fun using these oil pastels. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review of them. If you did, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post more videos. Let me know what other oil pastels that you like to use or that you would want to see a review on, because I actually had so much fun using these. Who would have thought? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!